The Ivory Coast elections are similar to what Ghana has. It is a majority vote contest where the winner will have to get 50% of the vote plus one vote. If that is not achieved, the top two contestants will face off in a second round for the same majority vote of 50% plus one additional vote. Ladies and gentlemen, this makes you the president to serve for a 5-year term. It is, however, highly likely that this year's election will go to a second round, and here is why. There is now a strong opposition alliance plus multiple credible candidates in this competition. The main contender, however, is Jean-Louis Billon of the PDCI party, which actually means African Democratic Rally. He is a prominent player in Ivorian politics and business. Now, in the 2020 Ivorian presidential elections, there was no opposition parties to contest because they boycotted the event. They argued that according to their constitution, President Alassane Ouattara could not run in that election because he had already served 2 terms, which is permissible by the constitution. They thought it was a breach of the constitution, and their participation in that election would suggest their confirmation for Alassane Ouattara's legitimacy. Therefore, Alassane Ouattara ran alone and obviously won by 94% of the votes cast. The caveat, however, is this. This is what gives many of us the assurance that a second round is most likely in this event. Even though Alassane Ouattara participated in the elections alone and won by 94% of the vote cast, the overall attendance of that election for 2020 was just a little over half the registered voters. The voter turnout for the October 31st, 2020 presidential elections in Ivory Coast was 53.9%, which could indicate that nearly half of the voters agreed with the opposition parties to not indulge in that elections. Most Ivorians felt Ouattara had betrayed their constitution and the party because it was for this reason he, Ouattara, ousted Laurent Gbagbo from office.